Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the KCGN Podcast. This is Jeff.
This is Daniel.
Yeah,
and we are going to talk about. We've got
some.
It's been about 2 weeks since the last time we had an episode.
We're kind of shifting this podcast into a kind of bi-weekly format now. What we want to do is we want to do kind of an episode every other week, and then between episodes we want to kind of be able to focus more on additional content for the YouTube channel. So I feel like we've got some exciting stuff on the way, unboxing videos, gameplay, and we're actually planning on doing some reviews as well, I believe.
Yeah, so I want to do some stuff that is, would require some more, effort, like things that are more impressive.
We gotta start putting effort into our popular web show, right?
Yeah. Well, we put effort into this, but I mean, something that takes more than just an hour.
Right.
Like something like reviews or.
Well, you gotta shift through all that footage and find
reviews. You think people you just review games? That's easy. No, it's not.
No, you gotta write a script.
If you want to do a thorough, excellent review that actually talks about every aspect of a game, that is a lot of work.
Well, there's a guy on YouTube. I got what his name is. I think it's Matthew Mitosis. I'm gonna look it up real quick because I know that he actually he does reviews for games on YouTube. I'm looking it up right now. His name is on YouTube is Matthew Matosis. That's Matthew, then Matoi or Tosis. He does reviews for games on YouTube. He reviewed a lot of the 3D Mario games recently.
Is this a Pluggy McPluggerson?
Huh?
This is a Pluggy McPluggerson?
Oh, absolutely. Anyways, I'm a big fan of his reviews because he goes very, very in-depth. And he recently posted his, he didn't even call it a review at this point. He called it a commentary on Dark Souls. The video is 6 hours long.
Yeah, we're not going to go that deep unless you want to. I don't think I want to.
That's like some extreme deep dive, in-depth criticism of actual gameplay mechanics and stuff, actually looking at every single element of the game itself and talking about why it is the way it is. I think that's really, really cool. And
I don't know anyone else who does that.
It's actually there's some very informative stuff in his Mario reviews. I thought
he did the Zelda series, right?
I think he may have.
Is this the guy I'm thinking of?
Let me open the tab back up real quick.
This is the guy I'm thinking of. It has to be
because
the
videos.
He had hour-long reviews of.
That sounds about right.
Every Zelda game and why he didn't like.
He did a Wind Waker review.
He's done all of them, all the three.
He hasn't done any other. Oh wait, no, there's a load more button. Hey, he has done all three of. He has done just about all of them.
All three? You mean
he did Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword.
He did not. He thought Skyward Sword was the weakest, which I will disagree.
That seems to be a pretty.
It's mostly because the controls weren't always responsive.
Controls, and then it was also very linear.
Some people just don't. A lot of those are actually linear when you boil it down. To be fair, it's just more backtracking. That's what I think people.
But the thing is, I'm looking at these video times. Okay, Demon's Souls. Yeah, it's a 2 hour long video. Yeah, that's kind of long, but it's not unheard of. Metal Gear Solid 4 is an hour long, but hey, that makes sense. Since Metal Gear Solid 4 has a lot of stuff to cover. Then most of his videos are around 30 to 40 minutes long. Then you get to fucking Dark Souls, and it's 6 hours, 6.5 hours long.
See, I want to try to strive for a review that's not really short. A lot of people, they don't even go in depth to it. They're just this game is really fun. You should buy it.
The ADHD format where you gotta
super hyper.
Yeah, but no, what I found inspiring in his Super Mario 3D World review is when he was kind of comparing it to some of the elements in Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64, talking about the spin jump and all those moves, saying that there are certain areas in the game that you can't get to without using the spin jump in Super Mario Sunshine, and it's not a very easy move to pull off. It rewards players for using those more complex moves and kind of mastering another element of the game. And the way that he kind of analyzes these games' gameplay in that manner, I think, is really inspiring to me. So I'd love to do some deep dive gameplay mechanic criticism.
Well, you can go deep, but I mean,
Not 6 hours deep.
I'm thinking like about 10, 20 minutes.
I don't think I'd be able to talk about a game for 6 hours straight. I'll be honest. Right
no,
there.
I would get. Well, it's not. You don't have to do it straight.
Right. Either way.
But you have to really break that
we're
game down.
We're wanting to do some exciting content. We definitely have some more streaming content in store. I know our
Spookfest.
our
Hashtag Spookfest.
Yes, hashtag Spookfest. Share it with your friends. I know our uninvited stream didn't quite go as planned. The game ended up not being as great as I remembered it being, and we ended up just switching back over to Clock Tower.
Fell
That's not going
asleep.
to happen next time.
Well, actually, I couldn't fall asleep because that music just grated my ears.
Oh yeah.
But then the other games just got frustrating after a while. Like
Clock Tower, yeah, because it just got so
arbitrary crap.
But yeah, I feel like our next game that we have in store, which we're not going to reveal, partially because we haven't decided what it is yet, but also it's going to be a surprise. But we are our next game is going to be a little more exciting. I think. I think we've got a list of things we got planned. So we've
got 2 weeks. We got about 2 weeks left.
Yes. So
I've run into some technical difficulties with the capture device I bought.
Yeah.
Did not pick up video of any older consoles, and it worked with the original Xbox, but no audio was being transmitted. So
we're hoping to get that fixed, but we want to focus on for Spookfest. We kind of want to focus on lesser known games. Like
not necessarily lesser known, but like
older games that you may not not be as popular in reviews or other streams on the internet.
We still might do some more mainstream.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like Doom, because I want to. Yeah. But I mean, like it's either retro or something a little older, or like something modern that's like more unheard of.
Yeah.
I don't like we might do something that's popular and mainstream new. We might. But we're going to try to do some lesser known stuff and retro and that kind of stuff. So what were you saying?
So yeah, I feel like we've got some great stuff lined up. We're really wanting to kind of do something different from what a lot of the other, big name kind of gaming shows do, sort of. We want to kind of provide a unique perspective on things. So anyways, moving on to our first topic of the show. I missed this unfortunately, but on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert on the Symphony of the Goddesses was playing. I don't know which orchestra was playing it. I assume it was like a local New York.
There was like about, I think it was 70 or 50, or I don't know. He said the number. I don't remember what the number was.
Somewhere around 78 or something.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was shortened down. They did do some Triforce Heroes music at the beginning.
That's cool.
Like,
how is the music Triforce Heroes?
It sounds pretty nice. It's like nice, just like strings, like a not necessarily. I don't know if it's a violin or like you think like something you might hear at Renfest or something. I don't know. Like it's. I don't know how to explain it. More folksy, I guess. It's kind of Wind Waker-ish, because I mean, it's more, I guess, light or like a lighthearted kind of stuff. But it was nice, and then they dove into the opening act, of the concert. What they played at E3. They did a slightly condensed version of that. They kind of because I mean. Those kind of shows, they're really crunching on time, so they have to keep it short. But they did it in a way that didn't upset me. So it was they nailed it. It was a great performance.
Cool.
So
it's
cool to see stuff like that on a very mainstream.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, Hatsune Miku was on.
Yeah, he was on Letterman,
Letterman. Letterman was just kind of like confused, staring at the anime lady.
It was a hologram up there too,
yeah.
so it's just kind of like I think he said something about being on. I don't remember the comment.
Yeah, he
Like
he
being
made a
on,
joke
like-
about how, man, these Japanese people, they're
Well,
kind
no,
of
it
what's
was.
next.
He said that it was like taking a trip on like
Oh yeah,
Bob Marley's or I don't remember what it was,
yeah,
bus or something.
yeah.
Which is, I mean, it is weird. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's different.
And it was even weirder because they had her singing in English, and the software
Yeah,
isn't actually optimized for English speech
the
yet.
English
It's mostly
version.
Japanese.
I wish they would have stuck with Japanese because it just was more awkward.
Yeah,
That wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best song either. There's better songs than that. But
yeah.
but then but that got on there, and the Vocaloid stuff has also been on front of Lady Gaga performances as well.
Yeah,
which is
I
very
did hear about
mainstream.
that, yeah.
Which is also, I mean, it's cool. I'd
I
love
think
to
it's
see
kinda
that.
cool. Nintendo's kind of starting to try to get out into that. They're still trying to get out into the mainstream field. They want to be what the older crowd is going to think of when they hear video games. They hear video games, they think of Nintendo. They want to kind of make sure that's what's going on. They want the Wii U to kind of be that go-to thing, kind of like what the Wii was when it came out.
Yeah, the problem is they kind of failed at
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's
Because that audience they're on
That's-
tablets, they're on smartphones.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's like the Wii was a flash in the pan success kind of thing.
Yeah.
It
So-
made them a shit ton of money.
Now, this next topic I have on our show schedule for today, you told me about this, something about Valve and why they don't want to have any ads on Steam. I haven't actually heard about this.
This is just today or yesterday.
Mhm.
Valve's Eric Johnson. I think he's part of the marketing. I'm not exactly sure.
I think he was one of the writers on Half-Life, but they kind of all just do everything.
Yeah.
at
What
Valve.
he said, in quote, "We don't see a case for that ever getting user value." When he was and then quote.
Now, this is specifically about like third parties advertising on Valve, because Valve already advertised.
Yeah.
Like when I
Third
quit out
parties.
of the game
I'm
on
getting to
Steam-
that. Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
And the guy in it says he said when asked if a product like Doritos might ever be advertised on Steam, and he's like, so we wouldn't do it. I don't think that those ever work either. To take it a step further, I don't think anybody buys Doritos as a result of that. I kind of disagree with that because if I see a fucking
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
if you've
I
got
see a bag of
Mountain Dew
Doritos-
Gamer Fuel and Doritos bought together will give you
no.
a 2 XP bonus.
No, what I'm talking about is like if I see something like I see Doritos,
Mhm.
and then sometimes that will make me want some Doritos.
Oh, get that craving.
I get the
going.
craving, so I think it does work.
It does,
Like
yeah.
with food.
Especially with food.
But
Almost, yeah.
so I'm not sure. I can't really agree with what he said.
That
but-
said, I don't want to see Doritos ads.
I don't want to see it. I don't like, but I think that's part
Now,
of his point.
Is this in response to another service doing Doritos ads? Because I'm not familiar.
No,
with
it's just
the
someone
context
asked him why there was no no ads because Microsoft does it with Xbox. It's everywhere.
That's true. That's why I never use my 360 though, because I started my 360 and even if I'm paying $50 a year, $60 a year for gold, there's still going to be like Doritos and Honda ads on my main screen. And it's
Yeah,
annoying.
see,
I'm paying you
PlayStation
guys-
doesn't do that.
I'm paying
so-
you guys $60 a year. You better not be plastering my screen with ads. That's stupid.
Yeah, and then when you hover over one of those, the video blasts really freaking
Yeah,
loud. I'm like,
and it's always a different volume. In fact, I believe the FCC a few years back, because TV used to be really bad about this. Where
yeah,
you
but
know,
then I
like,
didn't
first
notice
you
any
get it-
difference at all. I still hear loud ads on the
That's
TV.
true. Yeah,
I'm like,
they're like
one thing.
on
It's like the
line.
one thing the Congress did good is they did that, but it probably was like some like next to nothing decibel lowering.
They're like those people like on the line,
I'm like,
like,
they
at the threshold.
so annoying. I really hate it. And Bing
But
has
it's-
that problem. Have you tried Bing?
Bing,
Like you hover over a video, it
never-
autoplays, and it's really,
Oh, I
really
remember
loud.
that. Yeah, because I tried using it like a one time, like a long time ago, and I did
So
not like it.
Microsoft, you need to get your shit together.
Oh yeah. Now,
And then the rest of this article, so he's like saying that we tend to focus on long-term relationships. It would be a bad business decision, let alone just dumb.
I mean, my Steam library is probably over 300 games at this point, maybe over 400. I don't know. I'm really irresponsible when it comes to money in Steam.
Yep.
So, they have definitely established a very long-term relationship with me.
You got people creating a religion out of Gabe Newell.
Yeah,
or Lord Gaben.
Have you seen the Civ 5 mod for the glorious PC gaming master race? With their glorious leader Gabe Newell, and the image for him on the leader screen is like him. The Photoshop image is like him leading an entire like army of knights from some giant castle.
And then he says ads don't serve any value to customers, which they don't. But some people, I mean, ads are necessary in other areas.
I feel like they can't really say ads in general don't do that because they already advertise on Steam. Like when I quit out of a game on Steam, I get a little dialogue.
Well, he means like
up.
You know what he means.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's still an advertisement though. They're saying, "Hey, this game is 33% off in the store." I'm like, "Oh, hey."
Wait, does PlayStation do ads?
PlayStation, I think, on the PlayStation Store does do ads, and also, actually, it does because I started my PS4 the other day, and Destiny was on.
Yeah.
It was on the thing in my library.
We're talking like some other thing that's unrelated
to my system.
I know they do that. They did that. That was a thing. They did that with. Yeah. You can turn that off. So
I'll have to look into it because I did not like that. So it does advertise. It doesn't like advertise Doritos or Mountain Dew or anything.
I mean, Xbox does.
The PlayStation Store does advertise.
Xbox will advertise anything. So
PlayStation Store will have like PSAs from whatever organizations, from Ad Council, and they'll also have.
There's a place for ads, and I don't think ads are necessary.
I feel like in the store is a good place for ads.
For Steam,
that's where it should be.
Like Steam doesn't need ads.
For Steam, no. That there's no place on Steam. For
Nintendo
ads.
does not need ads.
Yeah,
they probably could use some if they want to make some extra money, but I mean, that's not who they are. That's not what the fan base wants.
Right.
Nobody wants to see that crap.
So
and that breaks immersion of the Nintendo kind of experience they want to make.
They're very unique when it comes to,
like when you turn on your console, it's like the ambience.
You get that ambience, which is cool, but you also get that, the plaza where you see that in itself is advertising.
Wada Plaza.
That in itself is advertising. Like you have that Walla Plaza, however it's pronounced.
You pronounced it.
Wada Plaza. But you start your system up. You get a list of the top 8 trending games on Miiverse and comments from actual users associated with those games.
Everything's relevant.
That's really, really good advertising. That's like starting up Twitter, but only for games.
Yeah, it's very unique. It's very unique.
Getting these lesser known, it's good for indie developers too, because it helps to get their lesser known games onto the front screen of every single user's system. I think that's a really powerful tool.
Well, isn't the Wada Plaza like the most popular games at the time?
I think it's the top 8 trending things on Miiverse. So the 8 communities on Miiverse, the highest.
Smash is gonna always be there till the end of time.
Oh yeah. Well, now it's not Smash. Now it's the Smash character support communities. So.
Okay then.
But
little announcement: Amiibos are basically back in stock, and just about all of them. I don't know about Lucina or Palutena. But I saw a Best Buy. They had a whole bunch. I saw a whole bunch.
Of Rosalina and Loomis?
No, of
Okay, I was gonna say
Dark Pit, Captain Falcon, Greninja, Olimar. I saw the Squid, the Splatoon 3-pack.
The Squid Tune.
Yeah, whatever. That was back in stock, so
that's cool.
And Best Buy has a lot of things that are on clearance too. They're making room for Black Friday, so now's the time to snag some games that are on clearance. I think Watch Dogs was $11, but I didn't see it in our store. There was on Wii U for Wii U.
That's
not
a bad deal. The Wii U version is graphically inferior to the
Yeah.
next gen versions, but it's still
Obviously.
a fun game. I wouldn't recommend paying $60 for it, of course.
No,
but
I would have bought it. I put it in my cart, but it said the closest was Columbia, Missouri,
dang.
and I'm like,
It's
you
still-
couldn't
how much is
order it.
How much is it?
$11.
That's
as
great
cheap as
price.
you get it. And it
That's
also
really
had
price.
Black Ops 2 for $6.
I don't know how active the Watch Dogs community is. When I played it, it was pretty close to the release, and I would be running around and I'd get invaded pretty frequently, and not in an
also,
annoying way. It
they
actually
had
worked pretty well.
they had Black Ops 2 for $6.
I actually do want that.
You should go do it right now. I think they had
Well, everyone, I'm going to take a quick break. No,
like tomorrow or whatever. Because
Might
I
look
got
into
it.
that.
I got it, so we can co-ops.
yeah, we can do some co-op in the Black Ops.
We can
So-
do the Black Ops finally.
You want to play the Black Ops? So,
Yes, I want to
anyways,
play the Black Ops.
So the next thing I want to talk about, this is something I've been following pretty closely the last couple days. Metal Gear Solid 5, as most of our listeners probably know, has a fairly incomplete, or the ending seems incomplete. It ends very abruptly, and there's not really a very, it just ends very abruptly. We leave a bunch of stuff open and for speculation. It just doesn't really work too well. Now, Daniel hasn't finished the game yet, so I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible. So,
Well, keep it spoiler-free for everyone listening.
absolutely, yeah. So,
Especially.
I have found a Reddit community, and this is going to be a very heavy spoiler community if you go here to check it out. But it's called Never Be Game Over, based on the text on the back of Eli's jacket in the Metal Gear Solid 5 campaign. So, anyways, this is a community that's basically a group of conspiracy theorists coming up with all these conspiracy theories for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Conspiracy theory.
Yes. So I imagine, your general conspiracy theorist wearing the tinfoil hat. I imagine this is like Big Boss with a tinfoil eye patch, or like Gray Fox with a tinfoil exoskeleton or something. So, yeah, this is actually some interesting stuff going on here. So, for as some of you may know, I don't remember if I mentioned this on a previous episode, but Unseen64, I think, or somebody found through data mining texture files in the game, they found a title card that said Chapter 3 Peace. And basically, everyone assumed at that point that, oh, hey, there was supposed to be a third chapter after all, which makes perfect sense. I'm a little upset that it got removed, but oh well. So, here's the theory is. So, the FOB mode is an online competitive 1v1 multiplayer mode that you can play. You choose a random person from a list and you invade their base. And eventually, after you've done this for a while, you're given the option to construct nuclear weapons to store on your base as a deterrent. So what this does functionally is it keeps lower ranking players from being able to invade your base.
So you're telling me Konami is making nuclear weapons?
So anyways,
Conspiracy.
this basically makes it more difficult for players to invade your base, because as you successfully invade bases, your PF rank goes up, and only players with a certain PF rank level can invade your base if you have a nuke on your base. And so you can build multiple nukes and so on. Now, there was a cutscene that was found through data mining the files for the PC version of the game, and it's a little interesting because it's a cutscene that seems to take place after all the nukes have been disarmed. Because what you can do is you can steal other players' nukes, and then when you finish the mission successfully, you go back to your helicopter and you can choose to disarm it and increase your PF rank, or you can store those nukes on your base as a deterrent to other players. So the rumor going around right now is that Chapter 2 never ended. There was a ending of the game and we got a credits roll and everything, but the rumor right now is that we haven't experienced the end of Chapter 2 yet. So,
Or this is a Chapter 3.
big conspiracy theory right now is that the goal is to either disarm all nukes or to have everyone armed with nukes.
Maybe that ending never happened.
And that will trigger one of two cutscenes, both of which have been found through data mining the game's files. So, the theory right now is that we have to either disarm all nukes on all FOBs across the entire game, or we have to have everybody have nukes on all FOBs across the entire game.
Whoa.
So, this is an interesting development. Now, through data mining the tablet companion app, a bunch of text was found that seem to refer to areas that aren't actually in the game. Most interestingly, an environment that the game refers to as Guantanamo, which, as you may recall, is where Ground Zeroes took place. And in some of the trailers, we saw footage from a cutscene in the camp from Ground Zeroes that never appears in Metal Gear Solid 5. So, the theory is that there's going to be a patch. Now, it's going to be a patch that supposedly is going to add 5 new missions to the single-player main ops list. And the suggestion is that some of them are going to take place in Camp Omega, possibly. And then some of them, there's a rumor saying one of them is going to be the canceled Mission 51 that was shown in a behind-the-scenes video on a Blu-ray disc that came with the collector's edition. So, some really interesting stuff going on in the Metal Gear Solid 5 community right now. Apparently, before the game came out, some guy on 4chan claimed to have leaked
this
details.
is the biggest thing I've heard.
This is really interesting. So, this guy on 4chan leaked what he claimed to be details on these 5 missions. He said there's going to be a patch, not necessarily a day one patch, but a patch coming out sometime after launch.
Has this guy done anything before? Been right on anything?
He did this leak on these 5 missions that are coming out afterwards, after he had given details on a canceled mission, which turned out to word for word match the Mission 51 description that was as it was shown on the Blu-ray that came with the game. And this is before that had even been released. So apparently he's got connections in Konami. Now, I think he's claimed to be like a playtester for Metal Gear Online, and he's seen some of these new mission things. He says that each mission is going to start with one of the cover songs on the Metal Gear Solid vocal track thing, because Donna Burke did a cover of every single song, like every vocal song. So there's like a Donna Burke cover of The Best Is Yet to Come from Metal Gear Solid 1, and then Tomorrow is Yesterday from Metal Gear Solid 2, and Snake Eater from Metal Gear Solid 3. So the rumor is that one of those songs will be featured at the start of each of those missions. And these missions are going to continue the story somewhat, and they're going to have they're going to do more extreme total stealth subsistence versions of the some other missions.
I think we need to go straight to the source.
I think we do too, but I don't think Konami's going to have an audience with us, unfortunately.
I think we need to meet this Mr. Kojima.
Now, another interesting thing I noticed on this conspiracy tinfoil hat theorist group, or tinfoil eye patch, I should say.
Remember, my uncle's Kojima. I could just ask him.
Your Uncle Kojima. But yeah,
or just tweet him right now.
One of the theories on here was that in Ground Zeroes and in 5, there are some cassette tapes you can find, and they're like listed as data tapes, and when you play them, it's like static noise and whatever. I recognized the static noise from something else. With old computers from like the 80s and late 70s, they didn't have floppy disks yet, like in wide mainstream circulation. So what you did is you would actually hook up a cassette tape player to your computer, and it would record onto the cassette tape a bunch of static noises that the computer could then read. You'd like play it back to a computer, and it would read that as instructions on how to write out the code for your program.
Wow.
So games would actually be distributed on cassette tapes. Now,
I've always found that crazy.
There were 2 cassette tapes, one on Ground Zeroes, one in Metal Gear Solid 5, and they both sound like that. So somebody recognized a computer from a cutscene later on in the game. It's a PC 6001, I think is what it's called. So they tried running. They basically compiled that code together and tried running it through a PC 6001. Got nothing. Then they realized something. They took this game. It's called Portopia. It's a crime drama text adventure thing, and for the PC 6001, they found out that by splicing this audio into the audio for the cassette tape for that game, they found out that it was actually a save file for that game. It turns out it's Hideo Kojima's save file from the 80s, because that was his favorite game growing up and is what inspired him to get into making video games.
Jeez, what the
Unfortunately,
hell?
it has absolutely nothing to do with the story, and it's just an Easter egg. So...
That is the most Kojima thing I've
That
ever
is
heard
the most
in my
Kojima
life.
thing. So, there's some interesting
Wasn't
stuff.
he also like alluding to it
Alluding to what?
through tweets?
He was okay. Yeah,
Or making
he
fun of or mocking?
he posted how he had just watched the 3rd season of True Detective, how he just watched season 2, episode 3 of some other show, and how he got the 3rd issue of the Star Wars magazine. Basically, the number 3 repeating over and over again, just to like he is fully aware of this.
Where he said he's like, I watched season 2. Unfortunately, they didn't make a season 3.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. So there was 3 posts talking about the 3rd thing or something, and so that was I thought that was funny. He's basically the ultimate troll, and it's so great. I really hope, however, that his horror game project, or apparently his thing that he was doing with Guillermo del Toro, they are still working on something together. So I'm excited to see what that ends up being.
Just so many crazy things going on with that guy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if everything just...
I'm going to say it right now. I think
Chapter
the guy
3.
is clinically insane. So that's my opinion.
in a good way.
Yes, in every right way that
Like
you
he uses it for good.
Yes.
I don't know how you can do that, but
For good, for evil. He's
well, he uses
chaotic.
it.
He is chaotic good. That's what he is.
He gives you great game experiences, but he'll fuck with your mind. Like
Metal Gear Solid 2, you remember all the trailers for that, where they showed
no, I
like
don't.
all the gameplay on that they showed of
Oh
the
yeah, I remember that.
playing
Yeah.
chapter. It was Solid Snake in the gameplay, but then you play and you're actually playing as Raiden.
Yeah, he didn't even want to like.
And even
Make
back then, there was kind of the
another-
same thing. There was kind of the same thing back then, where there were all these rumors about saying how you could play as Solid Snake in the Tank chapter, and they were rampant across the internet at the time. It's the same thing here. Chapter 3, Solid Snake in the Tanker chapter, not a coincidence. This is part of the conspiracy.
Jesus.
We have to play as Solid Snake in the Tanker chapter, or in the Plant chapter of Metal Gear Solid 2 in order to unlock Chapter 3 in Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm hitting the tinfoil hard today, folks. So, anyways, that's if you're interested, if you've finished Metal Gear Solid 5, definitely recommend checking out r/.
So chapter 3 confirmed.
Yes, r/never be game over. Really fascinating stuff going on over there. So if you're interested in Metal Gear Solid 5, recently actually there is an FOB event going on. The Mosquito, or something called Mosquito's Redemption. One of the former Mother Base soldiers from before the attack had attacked Big Boss previously in another mission in the game. So you now you're able to basically fight back against him. And it's a big FOB event. So the rumor that there's going to be more FOB events, and that she'll be that'll lead up to some more story content.
It'd
So
be
there are-
crazy that there's like so much content
Mhm.
in 5 that not even anybody right now can unlock it because
That's
everyone.
another interesting thing, actually. The PC version is about 6 gigs smaller than the PS4 version. The rumor
And there's higher. Isn't there like better textures too, or is it just?
rumor right now is that
Makes
they
no sense.
moved content from the PC version to keep people from being able to data mine it, because it's content that's in the PS4 version that's going to be unlocked in a later update. They'll just download it in a later PC update. They just want to keep people from basically spoiling it through data mining. That's the rumor. I don't know.
Why would they put that on the PS4 to begin with?
Because you can't really data mine a PS4 disc.
But why would put it on the disc anyway?
Because that way they don't have to push it out through a content update. But then they have to do that on PC. I don't know. It's
They have
convoluted.
to do that anyway.
It's confusing as hell because it's Hideo Kojima in the first place.
Probably did that to fuck with people.
Who knows? So moving on to our next topic. You wanted to talk about the Super Game Boy.
I just want to
interesting stuff.
I mean, they found out that. Well, I don't know if this was recent or not, but I think I saw a recent article that the Super Game Boy is an entire Game Boy. It's just an entire Game Boy inside of it, so minus the LCD or the L, whatever the screen.
As it turns out, the Super Nintendo is not actually powerful enough to run a Game Boy emulator. So Nintendo's solution was just put all the hardware for a Game Boy,
entire Game Boy and cartridge,
into the Super Game Boy player for the Super Nintendo, and that was how they handled it. All this hardware is in the cartridge. That is fascinating, and that's kind of how they did hardware upgrades back in the day. You know, like with the Star Fox, they had the Super FX chip, and with Super Mario World 2 FX2 chip. So, which I believe that was the only game that was ever released that used the FX2 chip. Star Fox 2 is the only other complete FX2 chip game that I know of, and it was actually leaked online. I think I'd like to do a Star Fox 2 stream at sometimes. It's a fascinating game.
After Spookfest.
Yes, after Spookfest, definitely.
Hashtag Spookfest.
Yes, hashtag.
Or hashtag KCGN Spookfest.
Yes. So
next one is
Nintendo is no longer a top brand.
According to
who was it again? New York Times, I think, or the New York Post. I don't know my newspapers at all, but apparently, I guess Nintendo's value as a brand is kind of dropped.
Interbrand.
Okay, they've kind of dropped down from being one of the top 10 brands in the United States.
Top 100.
Or top 100, yeah. They're no longer on that list, which is unfortunate. And I feel like a lot of that could be because they just don't have a lot of stuff coming out this year from themselves.
I mean, you're going to start... I hope it doesn't get to this, but kids aren't going to know who Mario is.
That would be scary.
Although I still think they do know who he is, because he still is prevalent when you go to the store.
The thing is, I feel like to me, Super Mario 3D World felt like a spin-off. It's a great game, brilliantly designed, but it feels like a spin-off.
Well, it doesn't feel like truly like 3D, like a new experience.
Like to me, it feels like a 3D.
Because when I think
version of Super Mario Land,
because you look at Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy, they feel like there's a story there.
Yeah,
there's this
Super Mario
more
3D
grand
World,
scale.
Super Mario 3D World it's not really a story I'm thinking of, but that is a good point. But with Super Mario 3D World, it seems like, it feels like with its mechanics, it feels like they've really kind of gone back a step, and they've basically tried to make a 3D version of the 2D side-scrolling Mario game.
I mean, the game is good.
Actually, yeah, I just realized this. Super Mario 3D World is a 3D version of New Super Mario Bros. U. It has all the same mechanics.
Well, yeah, it's just
like even when you press A, you go into bubble mode and you can float around. It's the same exact mechanics.
Well, yeah, it's what it is. It's just that's what it is.
I think that's interesting in a lot of ways, but what I think is strange is that it feels like a spin-off because of that, because it's not using the mechanics of the 3D Mario, the other 3D Mario games.
Wait, how did we get off on this topic?
Well, we are. That's a good question.
Okay, that has nothing to do with top 100 brands.
Nintendo's not a top brand anymore.
They're not top brand, and
that's what we were saying. I feel like Nintendo needs to do another Super Mario Galaxy type game. They need some big name Mario game on Wii U.
That's not going to get. They need to get into smartphones, and they are.
They are kind of with Pokemon Go.
If you want to be relevant, you have to be on a mobile phone. You have to, and
I mean, it didn't really benefit them at all. Smart Glass.
Apps. Microsoft is prevalent everywhere.
Yeah, true.
It's ingrained in everything.
Yeah.
Nintendo is not. They're a game company. They are dwindling. they'll be around for a long time. They're not going anywhere. But they're just less prevalent than they used to be because they've made bad marketing decisions that have hurt themselves to the point of irrelevancy almost. But everyone still knows who Mario is. People they know Zelda, lesser extent, but besides those two, I can't think of anything else that everyone still knows what Nintendo is.
F-Zero,
That's like their least known crap, and they've abandoned that.
I know they were pushing Bayonetta 2 a lot back when that was coming out.
Yeah, but
they were publishing. They partnered up with Playboy for that, which is very uncharacteristic for them. They did a Playboy photo shoot for Bayonetta 2 to promote it. Nintendo did, not Sega. Nintendo.
I don't know if that helped.
It's hard to say if it did.
No, because I mean the Wii U ain't selling still, so.
So, I feel like Nintendo definitely needs to be pushing more first-party titles out in their big franchises to really make the.
Well, yeah, that's why I was really upset of their E3 because there was nothing new.
I mean, like the GameCube is kind of a similar situation. They were in third place as far as the three big consoles went. Well,
the GameCube still had more third-party support by far than the Wii U. By far. Yeah. Not even close.
Like the GameCube didn't get a lot of games either.
The
GameCube didn't get Destroy All Humans, but the Xbox and the PS2 did. The GameCube didn't get Star Wars Battlefront 1 or 2, but the PS2 and Xbox did. But
they still had like way more third parties that would come over. Like they still saw Splinter Cell.
Yeah. And Splinter Cell even had unique features on the GameCube, like you could hook up your Game Boy Advance and use it as like a hidden camera.
You still had like movie games making their way over, like Lord of the Rings. The games made it on there. Lego Star Wars eventually made it on there.
It didn't come out at the same time as the other ones?
Nope.
Oh.
And I was really upset at the time. But then they like a few months later, there was like they're announcing it's coming to the GameCube, and I was like ecstatic. I was so happy. Even though I had a PC technically, but the PCs.
I don't think the PC version came out until.
Nope, it was the same time. PC, PS2, and I think Xbox. And then...
No, because the PC version is the complete saga, and it was the
Xbox
360.
There was a PC version of Lego Star Wars, I think.
Oh, that's right. There was a long time ago. Oh my god.
It was 2005.
Yeah.
This is when around Episode 3 came out. That's where Battlefront 2 came out.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 3, the game, came out, which was not on GameCube, and I was upset about that too.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was a good game actually. So.
I have it on Xbox. I need to try it sometime.
It's a pretty good game.
But
and it's a movie game. Like a lot of Star Wars games are not movie games.
Nintendo needs to have more. They need to really push the Wii U can. That games can sell on it, and they're not. They need to figure out a way to get games to sell, and it's not a case of we need to sell more consoles. It's a case of we need to sell more software to attract these developers. So
I'm afraid it's too late at this point.
The thing is, mostly right now, they are attracting indie developers, and that I'm skipping ahead in our topic list here, but Slender the Arrival was just announced for Wii U. Spoopy game, but that was just announced for Wii U. It's coming out soon. But like I said, a lot of indie games are really the big players in the Wii U, which I think is interesting in a way.
Well, aren't they prevalent on every platform?
They kind of are, but I feel like they're the most prevalent on the Wii U. And
I think they're most. I'd say that's mostly PC.
PC obviously, but like with the Wii U, with the Waru Plaza, that helps those indie games to become more prevalent in that community, and I feel like that's really kind of what's happening. So. I don't know. I think it's
they've went from like completely shutting out indie developers, saying you can't even. You have to have an official commercial office space.
And now it's almost exclusively indie developers. It's really
all it is first party games and indie. That's all it is. That's all the Wii U is. There's very little AAA third party.
Yeah,
you get Watch Dogs like a year later, but then it's like.
It's
like, this didn't sell well. Well, no, you waited a year.
This completely broken port of a game that came out a year ago that got like 6 out of 10 on Metacritic.
Okay, excuse me, it was like 6 months delay.
Okay.
But
either way,
it's irrelevant at that point.
Our game came out 6 months ago, got like 5 out of 10 on Metacritic, and this port doesn't work. So, no, I shouldn't say it doesn't work. This port's not.
I don't think it got that low of reviews. I still think it got.
Anyways, they're basically releasing a gimped product of a game that didn't sell very well, that wasn't received very well, and also releasing it at $60 half a year after it's come out on.
It's already $11.
A platform that doesn't sell very well. So then they're saying, "Oh, well, something didn't sell very well in here." Geez, I wonder why.
In Project Cars, they didn't. They canceled.
Yeah, they ended up canceling, which is unfortunate. But
which the game didn't look that great. I've heard it's not that good.
I've been hearing mixed things about it.
Like
yeah.
I've heard Forza's better, and that other one, I forgot what it was called.
I've been hearing there's apparently
there's another one that's like.
There's a big
I don't know if it's Drive
content.
Club or what's it called?
Drive Club's the one on PS4. It's more arcade.
Like that one looked. There was a comparison between the three. Project Cars was dead last, graphically, and I think the PS4 one just looked. It definitely looked better than all of them.
It's more arcadey though. I don't know that you'd like it, but
I don't really care for the sim racing, really, as much.
I can get that because we both played Need for Speed Hot Pursuit a lot, like the reboot.
Because I like that. I actually kind of like arcadey more than realistic, because. Like one of the first games I ever played was like NASCAR.
We're gonna have to do some racing game.
Like the old NASCAR game on PC. That was like the first 3D.
I think I remember that. Yeah, I had a NASCAR game on N64.
I had the.
Never figured out how to play it though.
The steering controller, the steering wheel.
Nice.
It was. I used to have to play with the freaking arrow keys. It's horrible. Then I had the steering wheel, and I mean it was fun back then. But when I try to. NASCAR, you go around like 200 laps and it's just a circle.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's still
there's a lot.
It's still intense.
Involved.
It's still intense.
There's a lot of meta strategy involved, kind of like like with your car's condition.
Because you don't want to crash. One slip, you're done.
Oh yeah,
you're done.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of games. We're also seeing a lot of games on the Wii U. That were formerly exclusive that are kind of making their way to other platforms. And that kind of brings us into our next topic. Sonic Lost World is coming out on PC.
Praise Gaben.
Yes, according to their official
According
Facebook
to
page,
Sonic the Hedgehog, the Facebook page.
Yes.
And Twitter, Praise Gaben. Which is a fantastic follow. Follow those channels, please.
I kind of want to check it out. But the thing is, Sonic Lost World came out on the Wii U originally, for $60 for regular price for a Wii U game, and I'm looking at the Steam page. It's $30 here, and you get a free copy of Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed.
Really?
Fantastic racing game, by the way. We might have to stream that at some point.
Do I have that game?
I think you do.
I don't know.
But
let me look through my Steam list.
I'm looking through here to see if there's any. It looks like there are some new features because the thing is,
I do have it.
A lot of these Wii U games, they come out on PC with new features. So like Sonic Lost World, for example, 60 FPS, which I could have sworn the Wii U version. No, it's 30 FPS in the Wii U, I think. HD, 1080p, the stuff. The gamepad and keyboard support, and then full Steam functionality. Those don't seem like big features, but still, we're seeing a lot of Wii U games that were formerly exclusive to the Wii U, making their way to the Xbox or Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Like Zombie
U, yeah. Now Zombie on PS4, Xbox One, PC. So
because those games just didn't sell well
no.
Those games weren't that great to begin with, so it's not like.
Yeah, the thing is, I think Zombie though, or Zombie U, or Zombie, whatever you want to call it, it's getting. I want to say the last time I looked at it on the Steam store, it had overwhelmingly positive reviews from its community. I'm going to check real quick to see if I can find it. I'm looking at it now. Oh, now it's mixed. So, yeah, after the hype from launch died off, looks like it's... no, it sounds like it's mostly performance issues, but still, it's interesting to see all these games moving over from the Wii U, but also kind of sad at the same sense they're losing exclusives.
Is November 2nd like some holy Sonic day that everything gets released on that's Sonic?
I haven't heard about that. Is there a Sonic game coming out on the 2nd?
Lost World, I mean.
Oh.
It's November 2nd. I remember Generations was the 2nd. Or
Interesting.
early November is just some...
Well, everyone, you heard it here first. November 2nd, Sonic Day. So, get ready.
Hashtag
Sonic Day?
2015.
Hashtag Sonic Day. Hashtag.
I'll ask Sonic himself on Twitter.
So, going back to the Wii U, I kind of want to talk about this. This is something that's exciting to me, kind of on a technical level. Emulation, to me, has never been about, oh, you can play your favorite games for free on PC. To me, it's more of a technical accomplishment. You know, being able to say that you reverse engineered a hardware platform like the.
It shouldn't be too hard to get that. This game got worse graphics than the new game. It should work fine on here. It should run really good, right?
So, anyways, the thing is, what I feel like emulation is about is, you know, you were able to reverse engineer a locked down hardware platform like the PlayStation 2 or the Xbox or something, which is still not fully emulated yet.
The Sega Saturn.
Yeah, especially the Sega
Cubes
Saturn.
or quads.
Yeah. But anyways,
use triangles.
you see a lot of stuff, and it's really just more of a, you know, form of self-accomplishment. But Wii U emulation, there was a big, huge breakthrough in that. And it's not going to sound too huge, but in actuality, it is actually a very huge breakthrough in, you know, leading up to more things. Wii U emulation is now able to load up the splash screen for any Wii U game now, or just about any Wii U game. So, like, you know, when you start up, it also doesn't have, they don't have sound working yet, but like when you start up Wind Waker HD, your screen like shows like the big pattern, you know, kind of like the wall painting art type thing. When you start up Wind Waker HD, it shows that screen. Or like when you start up Smash Brothers, it shows the Smash Brothers logo. You know what screen I mean, right?
Yeah.
We're able to see that logo now, but there's no sound in the game. The emulator crashes immediately after that, like when it tries to actually load the
It's going to be a few years.
It's going to be a while, but this is a huge breakthrough for Wii U.
Because, I mean, the Wii and GameCube are almost perfectly emulated at this point.
Yeah.
They're getting there. And
through the Dolphin.
I don't advocate only playing games through emulation.
And
unless you have it.
I mean, even Nintendo, I mean, technically, when you're talking about legally, even if you own the actual game,
yeah, it's still illegal.
That's not legal.
But it's like, I don't
really,
care.
In actuality, it's a gray area, so it's kind of hard to apply specific rules to it.
I don't care. I'm going to emulate it if I own it, especially.
It's definitely more
because I use it to emulate, like, Wii games so I can play them in like 1080p.
Oh yeah.
So because they look fantastic, you can add anti-aliasing to them. And
I know there was one guy, he took F-Zero GX, and he actually he was playing in 1080p with anti-aliasing in a custom motion blur filter. It actually looked like a PS3 game. It was amazing.
That game looks really good.
It still holds up really well today. Yeah.
I mean, there's some obviously low poly models on that you can't do anything about that.
Yeah. Either way, though, I think there's some exciting stuff going on in the emulation scene with the Wii U, and it's really exciting to see them kind of making that accomplishment. So, I'm hype. I'm very hype right now. So, for a lot of things. I mean, I'm not like, yeah, I can't wait to play Wii U games on my PC.
No, it's like
I think it's exciting from a technical standpoint.
Because it's like I like to keep I don't like doing everything on my PC. Like all the game
and like
I got a Wii U, so it's a whole different experience on its own. I can.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
And I'm not
use my
talking
PC. Everything.
I'm not. Like I said, I'm not talking about, you know, oh yeah, this is great because you can play Wii U games on your PC for free. No, I'm not even talking about like the experience of playing. I'm just saying from a technical achievement standpoint, this is exciting stuff.
We know what you really want to do. you want to play. What is that? One game. Oh no, that's the
Mario
one.
Maker.
You can play Disaster Dev Crisis, which I've
Nope.
played.
Yeah, you did play it.
It was actually not horrible. It was okay.
I kind of want to play it. Ooh, that could be a streaming. Actually, we'd probably get kicked off Twitch for that. But...
No?
maybe not. I don't know. I think that could be fun.
No, we won't, because it was released in Europe. We'll just say we're in
true.
Europe.
Yeah, we're Europeans.
Well, no, we'll just say we have the PAL Wii.
We're from Europe.
We're not going to get kicked
Kansas
off.
City Gamers Network podcast.
No,
so.
we could still have a PAL version of the console.
Yeah, that's true. We could. We might not, but we could.
And I don't care. It's an old game. You didn't release it in America. What am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
This region-free crap, man. That's a whole other topic. That's another topic.
Another topic.
I'm hoping the NX is just
another topic for another episode.
Region-free, damn it.
Well, I think that just about wraps up our show for tonight. Unless you had anything else you wanted to discuss.
No.
Cool.
We've gone about an hour now.
Yeah. So, we are going bi-weekly now. Keep an eye out for new content on our YouTube channel. We'll keep you updated on our Facebook page. Definitely subscribe. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on every single social media orifice that you can imagine. And that way you can keep up to date.
Make sure to subscribe.
Yes.
And
more subscribers on our YouTube channel will help us become more recognized. Are you gonna get a SoundCloud account, or what are you? I think what we want to do, we definitely want to move on to a different website for the podcast, at least.
Because YouTube sucks for podcasts.
It does, yeah. We aren't able to archive it. I feel like there are some websites out there. I've been looking at the options, but there are some websites out there, some services that we can look into that would allow us to archive our podcast episodes. So we may end up changing our website format for the podcast in the future. So we'll see what ends up happening with that.
Or we put it on both.
Yeah, that way it's accessible to everyone. So definitely keep an eye out for that in the future. I feel like we've got some cool stuff planned as well for just additional video content and streaming content as well. So
I still wanted to review.
Yeah, reviews.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 or something. But once again, I don't have any way to capture it. So
yeah, we'll get it figured out. So, anyways, that's our episode for tonight. For today, tonight, whenever. So thanks for listening, everyone, and see you soon.
See ya.